Hey there and welcome to another match in the Myth Cup number 5 mid-range ELO tournament, organized by Wilfer. My name is ICU and I'll guide you through this match on the map Midgard. Our players for this game are at the top El Cucino, playing as Loki, and at the bottom we have Jutt, playing as Zeus. Now these god picks immediately stand out to me. I don't think they knew the map in advance because it's random, but both of these gods are probably happy with a lot of fish, and the players piloting them, of course. Loki, of course, is keen on spamming out a bunch of Herser, make use of his bonuses the most. On the other hand, in a similar fashion, Zeus wants to spam out those hoplites and other infantry when he gets to it. But I suppose we'll see if that's the game plan for either of these players. At the moment they both have a dock each. Just starting out with that fishing early. Some scouting going on. House being placed down near this settlement nice and early, just to get information about it. So it is his own settlement, so he's not going to expect Jutt to take that in the early game, at least. You have a few villagers on food, which won't be needed terribly soon. Once those fish starts racking in. Let's consider their minor god choices for the classical age at the moment. For Loki, he can go for Seti, which is, I think, what typically Loki players want to go for. On the other hand, Heimdall could provide him with a needed boost, either defensively with Safeguard, or it can help him pump out his armies with the Regstula upgrade, along with the huge boost that the Einherjar usually gives to the army. On the other hand, when it comes to Zeus, it's probably safe to assume we can see Athena. We see the temple coming down. Athena for Zeus is powerful, especially with the Sarissa upgrade. If Cucino tries to go for raid and cavalry at any point, I think the Sarissa upgrade will come in very handy in the hands of Jutt. The other option, of course, is Hermes. Hermes can stave off something extremely important. Oh, we do see Heimdall coming in. Let's see if Cucino will come up with something spicy with that. It's a fairly decent advance time on a water map, and we do see Athena coming in for Jutt. As I was saying, Ceasefire is an incredible answer for flaming weapons, which is something that Loki players go for in the heroic age 9 times out of 10, I would say. So a second dock coming down for Jutt, nice and easy. Same on the other side for Cucino. Midgard is the kind of map that doesn't force you to contest the water, but even just getting one ship is so useful just to harass the enemy fish line. And of course that would prompt a response from the other player, in this case Jutt, from the perspective I'm looking at. You see Jason picking up a relic. Devourer taught us last arrow, which just gives a small bonus to damage to ranged units. It might be quite significant since having a bunch of Toxotes versus those Herser is a great way to deal with them. We see El Cochino going in for the Walrus. He really wants that to get in that food. Already sitting at 400. No army production buildings yet. Has an armory. Well, that tells me he's aiming to go for a fast heroic. It just might seem that Jutt has the same idea. Placing down an armory before anything else. Still, Cochino isn't going through heroic without anything to back it up with. Already sent 4 Hersers to harass some villagers. 1 goes down. That Minotaur isn't very useful against these. Oh, the restoration gets dropped. That's, I think, a huge loss for Jutt. Cochino must be happy to see that. Barely invested anything, and it was pretty much just healing up the Minotaur, which I don't think is very useful in this matchup either way. Kedeskopos is just hitting the house with a dagger, though that will never do anything. Just annoys Cochino. Hercules came out as well, so of course the cursor are retreating. He picks up the nose of the Sphinx, which makes his buildings more sturdy. Which means that Kedeskopos will have an even harder time destroying this house. How sad for him. If he ever escapes from this berserk. Fishing ship. 6 fishing ship only on the side of Cochino. Probably because he's already queuing up Njord, just needs some more gold. Didn't go too heavy into wood, and placing down docks, he just got his walrus. Meanwhile, on this side we have 14 fishing ship, which is a huge boost to Jutt's economy. Sending out a Trireme to follow up the Juggernaut and Pentacounter that I missed. I do tend to miss things, so apologies for that in advance. And a Juggernaut coming on the other side. Don't think Cochino cares much for the water at all, though he will have a Kraken coming in. He might not expect Scylla to be on the way either, especially not one boosted by the regeneration upgrade from Dionysus. What is interesting is that he is going for Njord rather than Bragi. He doesn't... I guess he values something from that more, like the upgrade to the Kraken. But that doesn't quite align with his previous investment in... I mean, lack of investment in water. Kraken is just swimming around, and is gonna get bolted, so no use out of that. Jutt looks to be pretty dominant this game so far, accumulating a force. On the other hand, Cochino has a force of his own. The Walking Woods God Power will help him out for sure. He already wants to use it, and Bronze gets used on the opposite end. So they're going to be... it's going to be a pretty big scuffle. God powers included. Minotaur goes down to the Herser. Mountain Giant is only going being attacked by the Hoplites. It's not going to get killed that easily. And now the heroes come in, and it's going down. Looks like it's going in favor of Jutt. The Hydra has 3 heads already. The Walking Woods have been dealt with. And Cochino is forced to retreat. Pretty nice victory for Jutt. Along with sending this Scylla over. And dealing with anything that Cochino has on water. So it looks like Cochino's plan was to go into Jarls. Of course, get that Ring Giver technology that's very strong from Njord. He also wants to go for the Jotuns. I think it's fine to go for Jarls on Loki in general. Enemy will usually expect focus on Herser often. But when your opponent is Zeus and he's extremely liable to spam out a bunch of hoplites, I don't think the Jarls are going to trade too favorably. He does have Hephaestus as well, which won't see too much effectiveness unless they go back on the throwing axemen. These dwarves were pushed back. Jarls are attempting to flank. You see a Prodromos. So Jutt is nicely reacting to the small retinue of Jarls being produced. These are certainly do more damage than the hoplites, even though I think just going for hoplites would have been perfectly fine. 2 Hydras, one with 4 heads, one with 2, doing impressive damage against these non-heroes. We do see a Jotun coming in, but we won't see him in action. Well played by Jutt. Dominated both the water and the land in a nice way. Great attempt from Cochino on his side as well. Couldn't quite make it work. Strategy on the land wasn't solid, though he did play well enough, and after he lost the water, there's just not much to fall back on. Anyway, congratulations to Jutt on continuing into second round, and for all the viewers, thank you for watching. See you in the next game.